Good morning, everybody. Now, what I want to talk to you guys about today is what we talked about on the radio show. And I got a lot of calls last week from clients, apoplectic, and I do mean apoplectic, regarding their accounts being levied and their accounts being garnished. And it's so heartbreaking. I've been talking to you guys now for what, 12 years, 14 years maybe? And the message is always the same. Debt does not go away. Debt does not go away. And in that, what I'm saying is that many of you labor under the false belief that somehow if you duck your credit cards long enough, or if you duck the collection agency long enough and it somehow mysteriously falls off your credit report, then you somehow still don't owe that money. As again, you are laboring under misinformation, or you're laboring under false knowledge. Debt does not go away. Creditors and debt collectors, it is their job to collect this money from you. So they will do the bare minimum to make sure the statutes of limitation does not run. And then you're calling me from vacation, telling me that your bank has been levied and you have no money in your bank account. And how do you get it back? If when you call me, you're not in a position to file a bankruptcy immediately, meaning paying me in full, then that money is gone. You can't get it back. Let me repeat that. Unless you're in a position to file a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 immediately, that money is gone and you can't get it back. For those of you that are in a position to file a bankruptcy right away, we will file an emergency petition, meaning that we're filing the bare minimum just to get you a case number so that you can present it to the bank. And if they have not turned over that money to the creditor, they have to give it back to you. But why are you waiting until you're in the position where they're taking your money? This is my question. Why? If you know you have debts out there, if you know you have a debt collector out there, if you know you're being sued, file a Chapter 7 or a Chapter 13 bankruptcy immediately to protect you and your assets. That's why the bankruptcy code is there. It's to protect you from this very situation so that they don't come and take your money. This is not rocket science, people. Bankruptcy is not just for General Motors. It is not just for all the retailers, Neiman Marcus, and all those people that filed bankruptcy in the pandemic. It is not just for the former president who filed 6 times through his companies to save his assets. It is for everybody. Everybody. And if you have debt collectors out there, if you know they're coming, cut them off at the pass. Protect yourself, protect your savings in your bank account, protect your home from being taken by filing a bankruptcy. Now, many of you have said to me, Miss Miller, what's the difference between a Chapter 7 and a Chapter 13? We're going to get into that in the next couple of weeks, because this is now a series that I'm doing. And if you're watching me on my website, thank you. And if you're watching me on the 107.9 website, thank you. But what we're doing right now is because Your money is about to get funny, right? Remember, during the pandemic, there was all kinds of moratoriums. There was all kinds of roadblocks for creditors to get to you. The courts were shut down, and even when they reopened, they weren't taking civil cases. They were only taking high priority criminal cases. And then the state of New Jersey, the state of Pennsylvania, the state of Delaware, the state of New York, all the places that I practice, the states had issued moratoriums regarding collection activities against you, right? All that is over. Creditors can now come and enter judgments and take your stuff. Utility companies now can roll in and shut your light and gas off. Banks are now starting foreclosure procedures to take your house. So that grace period is over. And it's now time for you to take proactive action in order to save your stuff, right? There is no more of you just sitting down there trying to figure it out and hope it goes away, because then you will be calling me to tell me your bank has been levied. And I'm here telling you, you don't have to make that happen. You know, my father used to say you can lead the horse to water, but you can't force it to drink. But I'm here to tell you that if you want to file a Chapter 7, if you want to file a Chapter 13, call my office at 866-96-GM-LAW. That's 866-96-G for Georgette, M for Miller, Law. To just stop it. Stop it completely. Now, many of you think, well, Ms. Miller, if I file a Chapter 7, does that mean I'm going to lose my stuff? And I've said this for 14 years, and I'll continue saying it. Bankruptcy is not for you to lose your stuff. Bankruptcy is for you to protect and keep your stuff. Now, if I'm filing a Chapter 7 and you have a home, what I'm thinking about is, okay, how much equity is in that home? Because you're only allowed to protect a certain amount of equity. It depends on whether you own it by yourself. It depends on whether you own it with your spouse. And then it depends on the value of the property. Now, if I use all the legal exemptions and you still have about $10,000 worth of unprotected equity in the home, then I'm just putting you in a Chapter 13 to do what? Pay that $10,000 worth of unprotected equity. You may have $60,000 worth of debt, but if I put you in a Chapter 7, you have $10,000 worth of exposure. So before I do that, I put you in a 13, and what do you pay? $10,000. You owe $60,000, $70,000 in credit card debt. You owe $20,000 in credit card debt, but all you're going to pay over 5 years is $10,000. This is the kind of protections you have. This is the kind of planning we can do for you, rather than you calling me a week from now telling me that they took your $10,000 or that they took the $2,700 that you have that you were saving for a rainy day. Guys, hello. Protect yourself. This is not rocket science. You can protect yourself. And again, we're going to be doing this weekly. You know, this is 10 minutes just to holler at you all and let you know that stop having these debt collectors take your stuff. You don't have to. You know, do not put your head in the sand. When you put your head in the sand, You leave another body part exposed. And even if you don't have judgments, but when you get your paycheck, you're paying Mary, Jose, and the 12 disciples, and you don't have any money for yourself to live until the next paycheck, come up with a plan. You do not have to live that way. You know, inflation is going up, so stuff is getting higher. The interest rates on your credit cards are going up. You know, it's getting real. And these debt collectors now have the opportunity and the right to come take your stuff. Well, guess what? You have the right to protect yourself and your family and the financial health and well-being of you and your family. Use it. It is not just for they and them. You can use it too. It's for everybody. But I'll end with this. If you want a free consultation with me and one of my attorneys, well, Michelle Lee, I know many of you in Pennsylvania deal with Michelle. The number to call is 866-96-GM-LAW. That's 866-96-G for Georgette, M for Miller, Law. And we'll do a free consultation, look at the analysis, see whether we're filing a Chapter 7 for you. If you're a Chapter 7, you're in and out in 6 months, and you pay nobody nothing. You get a discharge order, proof that you never have to pay anybody anything again as long as life lasts. Or you're filing a 13, where you're going to be in bankruptcy for 3 to 5 years, and you still get a discharge order at the end of the process saying you don't owe nobody nothing. So whoever didn't get paid in that 13, they ain't ever getting paid as long as life lasts. You also get a discharge order. So call us, get your free analysis. Let's figure this out. Don't have these people taking your money. And if you want to listen in on my radio show, I'm on 107.9 FM every Sunday morning at 9:30. As they say in my country, walk good. And I'll talk to you all next week.